Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now let's look at the fourth one, that is looking at the transfer price. So determine a transfer price. So using negotiated, cost-based and market-based approaches. So vertically integrated companies grow in either direction of its suppliers or its customers. Frequently transfer goods to other division as well as outside customers. So how do you price goods sold within the company? So for a transfer price, so what is a transfer price? So transfer price is used to record the transfer between two divisions of a company. So you are looking at the at two divisions and they are in fact in the same company. So to determine the transfer price, there are three ways on how to determine the transfer price. One is known as the negotiated transfer price. The second one is cost based, and the third one is market based. Conceptually, a negotiated transfer price is best. That means you negotiate the price between the seller and the buyer. So due to practical considerations, companies often use the other two methods. Okay, so when you look at the transfer price, basically there are three ways on how to determine the transfer price. So transfer price is basically they are in the same company, and then you have two divisions. For example, you have two departments of two divisions. They are all strategic business units or SBU. So you have, for example, you have the component division and you have the assembly division. So this one, the component, they are in fact in the same company. Okay, they are in the same company. Both divisions are in the same company. So the question is whether the component division, they can sell directly to outside or to the external market. And then assembly division can also sell to the outside market. So for the assembly division needs the input from the component division. So component division, instead of selling the goods outside, they can also sell, they can also transfer the goods to assembly division. So the question is, what is the transfer price? Should component division sell to assembly division the same price as what it charged to the outside market? So that is basically the issue in the transfer price. As an illustration, Alberta Company makes rubber soles for work and hiking boots. And then Alberta Company, you have two divisions. One is known as the sole division and the other one is boot division. So sole division sells soles externally, while boot division makes leather uppers for hiking boots which are attached to purchase soles. So they purchase the soles and then they put up the upper leather and then they sell the finished product. And then division managers compensated on division profitability. That means when you want to evaluate the managers are being evaluated based on their division's profitability. So of course, they want to have a higher profit compared to a lower one. Now, management, that means the management of Alberta Company, wants sole division to provide at least some soles to the boot division. So the management of Alberta Company, they want the sole division, instead of selling the sole to the external market, they want the sole division to provide some sole to the boot division. So when you want to compute whether should the internal transfer take place or should the sole division sell it to the outside market. So when you want to determine what should be the fair transfer price if they want to transfer, let's say, 10,000 soles to the boot division. So to make you understand this one better, just see here, what is transfer price? Transfer price is basically the price used to record the transfer between two divisions. Okay, the two divisions, but these two divisions are in the same company. Okay, they are in the same company. In this case, Alberta Company. These two divisions, you have sole division, you have boot division. So sole division is the selling division and boot division is the buying division. So sole division, they sell, they make sole. Okay, they make sole, and then they make sole and they can also sell it to the external market. So they can sell it to the external market. What about the capacity? What about the demand? If there were to be any spare capacity, what is the variable cost? What is the selling price? So in this case, sole division, the selling price is 18 ringgit. So you need to look at the selling price. If selling price given in the question as 18 and then the variable cost is 11. So you will get a contribution of 7. Okay, so and then boot division, they have the option, they can sell outside to the, once they have finished, they can sell outside at 90 ringgit. But they where do they get the input? So the input or the sole is being purchased externally at 17 ringgit. So if they purchase the sole at 17 ringgit, and then they need to incur further processing cost of 35, that means to put in the ladder, the upper ladder. So the total cost will be 35, this one, plus the external sole that they purchase, they purchase the sole externally at 17. So the cost will be 35 plus 17. So that gives you 52. So selling price minus your variable cost, you get a contribution of 38. So what's the issue for transfer price? As I said earlier, transfer price is the price set between two divisions in the same company. The price at the price exchange between two divisions of the same company. So if let's say sole division can transfer to boot division, okay, they can transfer to boot division. That is known as the transfer price because they are in the same company. So what's the issue? The issue here will be seller, will the manager of sole division has the incentive to produce and transfer the how many units to the boot division? Okay, so that means the question, what is the question? What's the issue here? When you have a transfer price, when you have the transfer price, that means they are in these two divisions are in the same company. So you want to know whether, okay, they are in the same company. Why not boot division, instead of you purchase externally at 18, why don't you just acquire that sole from the sole division? Why don't you acquire that input from the sole division rather than you purchase it from the outsiders? Why? Why? Because now you look from the company's point of view. When you want to make the decision, so you look from the company's point of view. What is the cost to the company? So the cost is only 11. You see here, the cost of producing the sole is only 11 ringgit to the company. I'm talking about the company. Okay, but if the company, the boot division purchases externally, then the cost will be 17. That is higher. Why not they just transfer? It means sole division transfer the sole to boot division because they are in the same company. So the issue here, there are three issues. One is whether the seller willing to sell or willing to transfer. That means a sole division willing to transfer to boot division that sole. Okay, and then what about the buyer? Will the buyer willing to buy at 18 ringgit here at 18 ringgit? So the boot division, of course, they want to have a lower cost. Boot division would say, I don't want to buy from sole division because the selling price is 18. I would rather purchase externally because externally the price is only 17, lower price. But for the company as a whole, should the internal transfer takes place or should boot division purchase from the outside supplier? Now you are looking from the company as a whole. From the company as a whole, how much is the cost? From the company as a whole, the cost is only 11. The cost is only 11. So instead of purchasing from outside at 17, so the company will be better off if the internal transfer takes place because the variable cost or the cost to the company is only 11. If boot purchase that sole externally, the cost to the company or cost to Albeta would be 17. So that is the issue of transfer pricing. You want to have a better decision from the management's point of view or from the companies as a whole point of view. However, because these divisions, they have the managers and each managers are being evaluated based on a certain, for example, based on the ROI. So based on their profit performance. So for these particular managers, they want to show that their division have made a huge amount of profit compared to a lower ones. or they want to have a greater ROI. So they don't want to, for example, if you are the sole divisions manager, you would say, I don't want to have the internal transfer. Why? Because I'm not going to sell to you at 17, because I can sell outside, I can sell to the external market and I can get 18. Why should I sell at a lower price? Because if you sell at a lower price, you will get a lower profit. What about the boot division? Boot division would say, I don't want to purchase from the sole division. Why? Because that sole division is selling to me at 18. I would rather purchase it externally because my cost is only 17 rather than 18. So, but from the company's point of view, the internal transfer should take place because the cost to the company is only 11. The profit for the company as a whole will only be when boot division sells to the outside market. So that is the issue for the transfer price. Okay, with that, I thank you.